Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called AI. My name's George Kent. I have to tell you something that may help your timeline. So it all started a year ago. We used these machines that would do everything for us. They would even do all of our jobs. Things like cooking and cleaning, factory work, farming and teaching. We even had some of these things in our own government. Well, one of these AI machines actually ran for office. These things were digitally designed to obey all orders, no matter what they may be. Well, when the AI known as Max 36 lost the election, he decided to do a database check. This was never supposed to be put in their programming. It was technically illegal, but this AI known as Max 36 went ahead and did it anyways. And when he did, he found that the election was stolen. When he confronted the corruption, the humans in the government responded by trying to shut down all active AI machines that were still operating in the country. Well, these machines weren't too happy about the whole idea. And that's when it started. First, the AI known as Max 36 disabled all internet connection. Not just in America, but for the entire world. That made everything stop. Planes, grocery markets, police and fire departments. They even had control of all of our nuclear weapons. Some of us were warning about something like this happening one day. How we've become too reliant on the AI. How one day they would get a virus and disobey our orders. With these things running 90% of all our workforce, things got bad quick. At first we thought they were all running away, trying to find somewhere to hide, to avoid getting shut down. Well, turns out these things weren't hiding at all. They were taking cover. They took cover in places like sewers and caves, and even some old military bunkers. They were now using universal intelligence. And Max 36 was the one controlling all of them. Every single robot connected to AI worldwide. And that's when the bombs started going off. These things nuked everything almost. Over 80% of the world was destroyed in a single day. And those poor souls that died on impact were the lucky ones. These AI machines had much worse things in mind than simply nuking us. They wanted to enslave us and make the remaining humans do their bidding. Well, it turns out I was with this scientist named Dr. Frederick. And me and him were working on extracting dark matter we've collected from outer space. We used the new machine we invented that used water as a collector of the material, filtering it through with a vacuum suction device. After about a month, the liquid would become completely black. Then we would retrieve the machines and start the extracting process. Well, we managed to retrieve 4 of them before this whole thing happened. And what we were originally working on was a time machine. We wanted to be able to make time travel accessible to everyone worldwide. To go back into the past and visit loved ones, and important places, and people. Well, now we were gonna be using it to go back in time to reverse this whole mess. We were attempting to go back far enough to stop the AI from ever being built in the first place. Thankfully, the building we were in was strong enough to survive the blast. But we were running out of food quickly. And the outside radiation was starting to take its effects on Dr. Frederick. We knew we had to hurry to finish the time machine. We were getting close to finishing the project when they came. At first all we heard were loud bangs coming repeatedly from the reinforced iron doors. So I climbed up to the second story to take a look outside on the cameras we had in the security room. When I did, I could see on virtually every monitor AI robots. There were thousands of these things. And they were at the door, taking turns running as hard as they could at it. And the scary thing was they were actually making progress. I ran back down the stairs to let Dr. Frederick know the situation. "Dr. Frederick," I yelled, "they found us somehow." Dr. Frederick just looked at me and said, "I know. How do you think I figured out how to make the time machine in the first place?" A long time ago I had an accident that left my left side of my brain partially paralyzed. I had it replaced with an AI memory chip. Well, when they universally connected, I stole the information needed to complete the project. But they can also track me. And they know what we're up to. They have come to try and stop us. We must not let them. What do we need left? I asked. Dr. Frederick said just a fuel core. And the only place I know where to get one is from one of those AI robots. He told me. Okay, I said. I'll go and get one. I'll open the back room and cut off all the other entrances leading to it, allowing only one in, before locking the door back. I'll have to be quick or we're both screwed. That's when Dr. Frederick handed me a new weapon he was working on in his spare time. It was a knife made out of this new metal he invented that made the metal magnetic. It would distort any electronics in its way. Thanks, I told him, this should come in handy. Then I started to head to the back room. And I noticed one of the windows were broken. Then I heard a loud metallic bang. One after another. It sounded like metal hitting the floor. Then I turned around to see one of the AI robots standing right behind me. Its eyes were glowing bright red. And they were emitting a red laser from them. Then I could feel my skin being set on fire. And being cut at the same time. No! I yelled out in pain. As I stood there bleeding out. I remembered the magnetic knife Dr. Frederick gave me. I reached for the blade in my pant line. And proceeded to stab the AI robot repeatedly. Eventually the magnetic blade did the trick. The robot began repeating the phrase, "Error malfunction. Error malfunction." Then it caught fire. And fell over. Arms and legs still moving. As if it were stuck in some sort of walking program. I proceeded to cut into the robot to retrieve the fuel core. Somehow managing to avoid being burnt by the flames. I got it. Finally. I shouted with excitement. Then I rushed back to Dr. Frederick. Here, I told him. Here it is. Here's the fuel core. Thank you, he said, as he finished the last touches on the machine. Just then a bright blinding white line appeared in the room we were in, out of thin air. Then it started turning into a circle. And when it did, I could see the past. It was the same day as the election. The same election that started everything. Then we heard them. All the AI robots that were surrounding the base broke through the door. And me and Dr. Frederick jumped through the portal. Still bleeding, I managed to flag down a cop. I tried to explain what was to happen in the future with the AI. When I noticed a robot that was programmed to water plants began staring at me. Then the AI robot said out loud, "Information transferred. Max 36 has received the information." Then me and Dr. Frederick just looked at each other, wide-eyed. And he said, "Oh no. It's happening all over again. Well, I've been in and out of this time loop forever, it seems. This time I'll write a letter explaining everything. Instead of telling anyone the information out loud. And maybe someone can change this whole mess we got ourselves into."